I want to congratulate you on your anniversary. It is wonderful to have media outlets that have been there for 17 years in public service. And so I want to strongly congratulate you, all those women and men that work in your company, and to thank them for the service they are providing to the Chinese people.
尊敬的秘书长阁下，首先我向您转达人民日报社社长李宝善先生和人民日报社总编辑妥正先生对您的亲切问候和美好祝愿。今天人民日报、人民网和人民日报中英文客户端对您的专访将通过我们的全媒体平台进行播发。那么在这个平台上，我非常荣幸的告诉您，我们有超过7亿的受众在这个平台上。
I think this is the biggest audience I've ever had.
他们将得以通过文字和视频分享您卓越的视野和深刻的观点。
It was indeed an extremely productive meeting. And I think a meeting that has shown that we really, President Xi Jinping and myself, see eye to eye in relation to most complex problems of today's world. But it is our common belief that there is only one way to deal with global problems. It is with global solutions. It is with global governance. It is with multilateralism. And that is where the Agenda 2030 of the United Nations, approved by all countries, gives a number of very important answers in order to leave no one behind, for progress to be shared by everybody. And that is where the program that was presented by President Xi Jinping with his ambition of a community of shared prosperity for humankind is exactly the same response.
我们都知道，习近平主席提出要构建新型国际关系，包括建立这个人类命运共同体。这一主张呢，也得到了联合国很多成员国的高度认同，并且也写入到了联合国的相关决议当中。
I think it is very important that there is an international recognition about the value of those proposals, and this is, I think, a very important contribution to not only China, but to the international community as a whole. China is present in peacekeeping. China is pressing with its envoys in trying to bring peace to several areas of the world. China, with the One Belt, One Road initiative, is present in trying to give a positive response to the challenge of globalization, to connect peoples, to connect states, to connect economies. China has been a country very strongly involved in all developments in which the international community tries to find mechanisms of governance to address global problems.
您和习主席的会见时，双方谈到了朝鲜半岛问题，这是一个现在大家都非常关心的问题。秘书长阁下如何评价习近平主席和中国政府为推动朝鲜半岛问题的和平解决所付出的持久不懈的努力？
I think China has a central role, and the central role that I hope will be even intensified in the future, in order to guarantee the common objective we all have, which is to have a denuclearized Korean peninsula, but to do it peacefully and in a context of regional security. And that is where the role of China is absolutely fundamental. I have to tell you, if the Korean peninsula was not here, if it would be in the South Pacific or somewhere in Africa, probably a war would already taken place. And one of the reasons why the war has not taken place is, in my opinion, the moderating presence of China.
今年也是中国改革开放40周年。40年来，特别是像我这一代人，亲身经历了改革开放的整个过程，感受到了我们这个国家巨大的变化。那么，你如何评价中国的改革开放？
Well, first of all, congratulations on the 40th anniversary. And I remember I visited China for the first time in '84. And I've been coming to China many times. China today, you can't recognize the China of '84. The progress that the country has known, its development, its modernization, is absolutely unique in the world.
这次来北京，您还去看了一场京剧。
Peking Opera is indeed a very important demonstration of that legacy from your brilliant past, and I was really very happy to be able to see it. But I must say, in one of my other visits, I went to a concert hall and listened to a fantastic symphonic orchestra playing Western classic symphonic music. So I think in China you are making the synthesis of everything. of what it is your fantastic cultural legacy, but also of all the contributions coming from all parts of the world in relation to culture, bringing people together and being a factor of peace, being a factor of understanding, of dialogue. Very much. I like Chinese food very much. My favorite is Sichuan because it's spicy. And I remember in my official visit to China, I was Prime Minister of Portugal at the time, and we visited Chongqing. And I had probably the most wonderful meal of my life, but at this spicy touch that makes it even more attractive.
毛泽东主席在世的时候有一句话叫做“不吃辣的就不是一个革命家谱”。
We are involved in a very serious process of reform in the United Nations. I would say it's essentially a reform to make it more modern, more effective, more cost-effective, more able to deliver to the people, because it's the people that matters. Maybe I have to eat more Sichuan food in order to make sure that the reform moves forward more quickly.
我们人民日报社为您此次访华特别准备的一个小小的礼品，这是关于您的在人民日报的报道集，也希望这个报道集能够让您对这一次的中国之行和今天的专访留下美好的印象。最后呢，我想转达人民日报社社长李宝善先生对您的诚挚的邀请。我们非常期望您在下一次来北京访问时，在方便的时候能够到人民日报社去做客去参观。